It's my birthday! Woo! And I really didn't do anything except for play, like, way more of Age of Calamity, which is both fun and a little sad. But oh well, I wanted to do it, so I did. So I have a lot of thoughts about Age of Calamity, both as a sequel to Hyrule and a prequel to Breath of the Wild. Now, if you're watching my Let's Play, I'm not going to talk about any spoiler stuff in this part of the video. I'll make a second part, and I'll probably upload it after the finale goes up for my Let's Play. So, this part is only going to talk about gameplay stuff. And if I do show gameplay, I'm pretty sure I'm going to show gameplay, it's only going to be the characters that we already knew before going into the game. So, going into the game, boy oh boy, is the gameplay fucking insane. Hyrule Warriors had a lot of really good characters, and a lot of really bad characters, like, that suck to play as. Like, not even counting, like, DLC, but none of the characters in Age of Calamity really, like, suck to play as. It's more like you gotta get used to them, which is good, because overall the roster's pretty balanced in that regard. I mean, Link is OP, but that's pretty fucking standard. Like, of course Link is OP. He kinda has to be. He's fucking Link. Both Zelda and Impa took a little while to get used to, but once I got used to them, it was fucking golden. All the champions play amazingly, but most shockingly was how insane Mipha was. I was going in, because in Breath of the Wild, she wasn't that much of a fighter. You know, she's a healer, not a fighter. But she really surprised me. She was so fucking good. She became like my second most leveled up character, right behind Link. Something I'm glad they got rid of from Hyrule Warriors was the fucking items. The items in Hyrule Warriors sucked. You only used them for boss fights, and they were not that good. Age of Calamity replaced them with the ruins, which were way more useful. Of course, you got the bombs, which are insane, which is just you blowing shit up. But each of the fighters' bombs were different. It wasn't just throwing random bombs. Sometimes you got to control a large guard bomb, a large bomb guardian, or sometimes you just threw a shit ton in the air and it just like blew up so much shit. Sometimes you did a little dance and threw a little bomb, then you threw a big bomb. Sometimes you just threw a big bomb. Each character does a different thing with each of the ruins, which not only helps with like being unique for each of the characters, it also adds different varieties when you're playing with them. Because like Rivali's stasis is really fucking good. Link's is the best because it's just freezing them and you can just fucking wail on them. So good. Again, Abrosa does a dance when she does it, and then she fucking slashes them, and it's super good. So, that's a good change that they made, but a bad change that they made was that they didn't bring the magic bar. The spirit bar in Hyrule Warriors was the fucking shit. You literally enter God mode and just decimate the battlefield. Now, Age of Calamity's gameplay is more speedy than Hyrule Warriors was, but sometimes I was really missing that magic bar. Sometimes I was like, can I just press it and can I just wail on them and just do it? Now, you do kind of have something a tiny bit like it gameplay-wise with the Fury Flash, with the Fury Rush, but it's obviously not the same. It's just speeding up and then hitting them. I'm sure the reason why they didn't bring it back was because Breath of the Wild didn't have any magic, besides, like, magic rods, but Link himself didn't have a magic bar, so they couldn't really justify bringing that back. But also, it's a spin-off game where the gameplay is not canon, and I'm gonna get to the canon in this game in the second part. So they totally could have brought the magic bar back and just done it in a, like, different way. Rods were really useful, surprisingly. When I first got them, I didn't think I would hardly use them all, but I ended up using them a lot more in the later parts of gameplay. And the reason why is because another thing they took from Breath of the Wild that actually did help is they kind of brought some of the physics back. Like, if you hit an enemy in water with like electricity, it's gonna spread through the enemies through water, like how it did Breath of the Wild, which was a really nice touch. And of course, instead of having potions, you have apples, which is, that's good. All right, that's good. I kind of wish you could up the apple game though, kind of how like you could upgrade the potions in the first Hyrule Warriors, but also it's fine. Like I'm good with what we have. You can up the capacity of the apples, which is just as good. It's just as good. The map design though is insane. Hyrule Warriors vaguely looked like the locations they were trying to do, but Breath of the Wild freaking nails it. I feel like I am exactly where I am in Breath of the Wild with the map, because it looks exactly the same. I'm like, oh look, there's Hyrule Castle, so I'm in this area. And I think I'm right, which is really good. Also, the first map itself I think is my favorite just because of how massive it is. It's shorter. It's a shorter area, or it's a smaller area, but it's pretty still accurate. Now, I do got a couple of gripes though with the fucking gameplay, or with the game in general, which is the fucking inventory system. Now, for every other character, it's fine, but with Link, it's the fucking worst. You fill it up so quickly because not all of his moveset items go into one fucking inventory, because that's how it was in Breath of the Wild. But also, items broke in Breath of the Wild, so it's not that big of a deal. But they don't break in this game, and it fills up so quick, and you gotta get rid of cool shit. I wanted to keep at least like a different variant of like each kind and fill it up, but I couldn't do that. I had to sell some shit. And like, it sucks because it's cool fucking weapons that I can't use because I don't have any fucking room. I feel like if they had just brought back weapon durability, this would not be an issue. And I know, weapon durability is still a debated topic for Breath of the Wild, but they could have brought it back and they could have made it work by just adding a repair option with the blacksmith. If they just did that, then you could save certain items that you want, and you could still upgrade them. And a way it could work is you could bring 3 different items, or you could just have your whole inventory for each battle. That way, if one of them breaks, you can quickly switch on the fly, which they can do, because you can do it in the training mode. So if you can do it in the training mode, you could do it in the battles. Okay. Sorry. Inventory really fucking bugs me. Another thing that really bugs me is the lack of options other characters have for the wardrobe. Like, Link's got so many fucking options. He basically got all his clothes back from, like, Breath of the Wild, which is, like, that's cool. But also, everyone else barely gets anything. Like, Zelda gets a couple, all the champions get their normal clothes and their champion clothes, and then no one else. And it's like, you could have done it. Hyrule Warriors had so many fucking options. Like, and they also had different color variations. Like, maybe I just didn't unlock that yet. And if I do unlock that, then this point will be retracted. But if it's not in the game, it fucking should be. Because why is it we can have Zoras that are fucking pink in Hyrule Warriors, but we can't have it in Age of Calamity? That makes no effing sense. No effing sense. Now, the side quest replacing the badge system from the first Hyrule Warriors is fucking genius. It is so much better. Not because the badge system was bad, it was fine, but because it had so much personality. Like, these are actual, like, quests, like going to find a sword master, and then after he starts learning from her, she goes off on her own journey, and, like, they have arcs. These side quests have fucking arcs, and it gives way more to each of the characters. Like, there's one where Raleigh, like, cooks a whole meal for kids, and he's not being a total shitbag. I wish I could have seen that, like, in-game, because Raleigh not being a shitbag probably would have made me like him a little bit. But the side quests, they also don't just work as, like, the badge system. They also help unlock materials as well. And you're gonna need materials for, like, not only for the side quests, but also for the battle. Because you can cook in this game. And cooking is fucking great. Now, For cooking, I honestly figured it was gonna be in the game, but I figured it was gonna suck. Because, like, what the fuck are they gonna do with it? I thought to myself. Like, yeah, you could just, like, heal or some shit, but, like, I'm not gonna cook, like, a big-ass meal or something, but no. Because cooking doesn't fucking heal. It either boosts your XP, boosts your special attack, gives you 100% rubies with 20% health going away, which is the best fucking meal. The dubious food is the best fucking meal. And that's so weird to say, because it's shit. It's so fucking shit in Breath of the Wild, but it's so fucking good in this game. Oof. Oof. And oof. Both Hyrule Warriors and Age of Calamity have a fucking amazing soundtrack, which is not surprising because they just took Zelda music and amped it up to 11. Breath of the Wild already had an amazing soundtrack, despite what people say, because it's there. The fuck do you mean there's no soundtrack? It's fucking there. But yeah, they amped it up to 11 and it's the fucking best. Like, Rivali's theme is my fucking favorite, which is super weird, but it's so fucking good. Like, I will listen to that for like hours. It's so good. All the fucking themes in this game, the battle themes, the character themes, they're all so good. It's so good. I really hope that for Breath of the Wild 2, I know it's unlikely, but I would love it if some of these tracks could come in the way they are in Age of Calamity. Like, I know Breath of the Wild had a more softer approach to the music because of the world, and I get that, but just like having like an option for just like to listen to certain themes and replacing the like you can choose between like the normal soundtrack or like Age of Calamity soundtrack, like something like that, like it would be so good. Co-op a little bit, and it's a bit wrecked. Not like I think it has mostly to do with the camera, because when you're doing co-op, you get one top of the screen for you and the other top of the screen, the other bottom of the screen for another person. But if you're trying to like look around, the camera doesn't want to work like that, and it especially doesn't want to work like that when you're like locked onto an enemy. It's really janked. It works, but I'm not gonna be doing it that much unless I literally can't get through a battle without it. And I literally had to do it once because of Mipha's. So I think the game is really good. Like, overall, despite the nitpicks that I'm going to get into with story in the second part, this was a total blast. And if you're a fan of Breath of the Wild or Zelda as a whole, highly recommend it. But I also highly recommend the first Hyrule Warriors as well. Even though it has the Hyrule Warriors namesake, it kind of doesn't feel like the same game. Now, it has like the same combat, but Hyrule Warriors took more traditional Zelda elements and put it into Dynasty Warrior gameplay. But Age of Calamity took Breath of the Wild elements and put that into Dynasty Warrior gameplay. So the similarities that the two games don't have aren't because they're two Zelda properties, it's because they're two Dynasty Warrior spin-offs. And Breath of the Wild as a whole was turned traditional Zelda upside down on its head. Not to say that's a bad thing, it's fucking great. But comparing the two games as like a Zelda fan feels a bit wrong. Because looking at it as a Zelda fan, they are completely different. But they're great. And the fact that Hyrule Warriors Link's attire is in the game is my favorite fucking tunic ever.